Hi everyone, and welcome back to Writing Guy. You ever notice how most men don't say best friend anymore? We say the boys, we say my buddy from college, we say coworker. But when was the last time you heard a man over 30 say the words, he's my best friend? Right, it's rare, and it says a lot more than we like to admit. Because what we're really talking about isn't just friendship. We're talking about the slow death of male intimacy. Again, I'm not a professional. This is what I've been observing, and I kind of put it to thoughts. So if you would like to read more, please visit awritingguy.com. And some of you may have noticed that all the articles and posts of the website has been monetized. Again, I hope that this would make the channel and the website more sustainable because I don't really like to put ads on articles because, like you, I don't want to see ads everywhere. So, again, if you would like to support my work, please head over and read more. Now, let's get back to the topic at hand. We're going to talk about how somewhere along the way we traded emotional closeness for group chats, side quests, and text messages that read more like calendar invites than conversations. And I want to talk about that. I want to unpack it like a box you never opened after your last move, because inside that box is a mirror, and what you see might make you a little uncomfortable. But if you stick around, we'll walk through it together. Now, let's start with something basic. Men used to have best friends. I don't mean the kind of friend you text once a month and see twice a year. I mean the kind of friend who knew the name of your first crush, who saw you cry once in high school and never told anyone, who showed up with pizza after your first real heartbreak and didn't leave until 2 a.m. That kind of friend, the ride or die, the brother you weren't born with. But look around now. That version of male friendship is becoming rare. It's not extinct, but endangered. You'll still see it here and there. Two retired guys playing chess in the park, men in the military, lifelong friends in small towns. But in cities, in our 30s, in the age of career hopping, remote work, and solo hobbies, it's vanishing. And not because we don't want it, but because somewhere along the way we stopped knowing how to build it. Here's the hard truth. Most men have confused independence with isolation. And I'm also part of this as well. We've been sold a story of the Sigma male, as the kids are saying right now. Be self-sufficient, be strong, don't need anyone, handle your business, and keep your problems to yourself. It's a narrative built from old war stories, John Wayne movies, and locker room one-liners. And on the surface, it sounds noble, but it's not strength, it's fear in disguise. Because the truth is, most men don't avoid intimacy because they don't want it. They avoid it because they don't trust it. They were never taught how to hold space for another man emotionally without sarcasm, without distraction, without cutting the moment short with, yo, it's gay, and then changing the subject. We know we've heard that line once or twice, and we know some of us have said it ourselves. Again, no offense to anybody. So, what we call masculinity sometimes becomes a cage. A set of rules about what real men should and shouldn't say, and inside that cage, we end up alone. Not physically, some of us have wives, some of us have friends, but emotionally, alone. Here's a hard truth. Most men have confused independence with isolation. We've been sold a story that says be self-sufficient, be strong, don't need anyone, handle your business, and keep your problems to yourself. It's a narrative built from old war stories, John Wayne movies, and locker room one-liners. And on the surface, it sounds noble, but it's not strength, it's fear in disguise. Because the truth is, most men don't avoid intimacy because they don't want it. They avoid it because they don't trust it. They were never taught how to hold space for another man emotionally without sarcasm, without distraction, without cutting the moment short with, yo, that's crazy, it's gay, and then changing the subject. So, what we call masculinity sometimes becomes a cage. A set of rules about what real men should and shouldn't say. And inside that cage, we end up alone. Not physically, some of us have wives, some of us have friends, but emotionally, alone. It's easy to blame the internet for it, and to some extent, we should, because friendship needs presence. And presence is a muscle we've let atrophy. We text more than we talk and listen to each other's voice. We scroll more than we listen. We send each other's memes instead of memories. Even our hobbies, once the glue of male friendship, have become hyper individualized. You can be a gamer without a clan, a gym rat without a workout buddy, a crypto trader, a content creator, a lone wolf freelancer, all without ever needing to sit in the same room with someone else. And work used to be where real men forge brotherhood. You clock in with the same guys for 10 years, shared smoke breaks, curse your boss together. Now you join a Slack channel, you zoom in, you log off. All the people that you interact with are names on a screen and a green light or red light to show if they're on the other side or not. No handshakes, no real lunch breaks, no shared rituals. And over time, that erosion of casual male contact, those small but crucial shared moments, starts to show in rising rates of male depression, in the loneliness that simmers beneath every stoic Instagram story, in the number of men who have no one to call at 2 a.m. Let's talk about the group chat. The modern male gathering place is where jokes go to die and feelings go to hide. It's efficient, it's safe, surface level, but it's not intimacy. We confuse regular contact with emotional closeness. But proximity is not vulnerability, And men have gotten very good at building communities that never actually ask them to open up. We laugh, we roast, we share sport takes, but we don't say, I'm not okay. We don't say, I feel lost. We don't say, I miss how things used to be, because group chats or social media reward performance, not honesty. We show each other the highlight reel, and the real stuff, we bury it. Or worse, we forget how to even access it. Think about this. When we were boys, we hugged our friends without thinking. We told them our secrets. We asked them to sleep over, not because we were afraid of being alone, but because we just wanted more time together. But then something shifted. Puberty, maybe. Social pressure, definitely. Suddenly, close became sus. Vulnerability became weakness. And we were taught indirectly, sometimes cruelly, that to be a man is to need less. Less comfort, less connection, less closeness. So we start shrinking, not our ambition, not our strength, but our capability to feel safe with another man. We started using jokes as armor. We trade hugs for head nods. And without realizing it, we went from having best friends just to having a few people we used to be close to. If you're still listening, maybe this hits a nerve. Maybe you felt that quiet ache in your chest when a memory from childhood comes back and you realize how long it's been since someone really saw you. Not your job title, not your social media post, just a friend from middle school or high school sit next to you on your table, cracking jokes, play ball with you during the break. Yeah, just you. The man beneath the performance, the man who still wants to be chosen, known, loved. We all do, but we forgot how to say it out loud. So let's keep going. Let's talk about where we go from here. You know what happens when you stop feeding a plant? It doesn't die overnight. It takes a while. First, the leaves curl, then they discolor. Eventually, it stops growing altogether. Male friendship also works the same way. Starve it of attention, of intentional care, and it doesn't explode. It fades. And then one day you look around and your inner circle isn't a circle at all. It's a loose collection of used to be's. Used to be close, used to be tight, used to talk every day. But you didn't water it, and now you're emotionally malnourished. You go through your days functional, you hit your goals, you take care of your responsibilities, but underneath you're empty. Not because your life lacks meaning, but because you and the boys don't go get along like we used to. That's how you end up with men in their 30s who haven't had a real conversation in years. Men who crack a beer instead of cracking open their pain. Men who look fine on the outside but haven't laughed from their gut since college. We're lonely, but we're not allowed to say it, so we just keep performing. Let me ask you something. When did become a man become a hustle? And I think that's what it is for a lot of us now. A performance of competence, of control, of always having it together. We wear the mask so well, we forget it's a mask. We crack jokes, we hit deadlines, we stay productive, but we're exhausted from pretty much everything, and we pretend not to care anymore. We don't just miss our best friends. We miss the version of ourselves who let people in. We miss who we were when we were 17 and didn't have to be cool all the time. When it was okay to say, I love you, bro. When we had someone to call when our world collapsed. Now we post about it after the collapse and hope the likes feel like connection. And to be honest, they don't. Because performance isn't intimacy, affection isn't affection, followers aren't friends. We know this, but we keep performing because we're afraid that if we stop, the silence will be unbearable. Now, let's talk a bit about fear again. I've mentioned a lot about different kinds of fears in the previous videos, so if you would like to listen to my rant, you can go back to that later. But today we're not talking about the kind that gets your heart racing in a dark alley. It's the quieter kind, the kind that sits in your chest and tells you, don't call anybody first. You'll look needy. Don't open up because the boys, they haven't really felt this before, so they don't really know how to react. Don't reconnect. It's been too long. You guys will feel a bit cringy towards each other, and so we wait. The texts, they change from let's grab a beer, let's grab a coffee sometime, into silence. We wait for someone else to break the silence, to reach out, to take the risk. But the other parties, they are also waiting. So nothing happens. And the friendship that could have been saved dies from hesitation. It keeps us from repairing what matters. It convinces us that vulnerability is a liability. But real friendship, real brotherhood, it requires vulnerability. And that's the toll you pay to cross the bridge. And most of us were never taught how to pay it. So we sit on separate shores, watching each other from a distance, pretending we're okay. This one's going to sting some of you, but your wife or girlfriend can't be your only emotional outlet. We gotta admit to ourselves there are things we can never say to our spouse or our loved ones because we need a man's perspective in this kind of matter. You can trust your partner a lot. She's your person, but sometimes the support from the back could only carry you so far. You need cheering from the sidelines. You need a boy. You need a man. You need group of manliness in your corner cheering for you. I think you know what I mean. And if you offload every emotion onto her and none onto your male friendships, two things can happen. you overburden your spouse with your internal wound. And I think I would be old fashioned if I say this, but as a man in a relationship, I think you should be the more stable emotional support for your partner. And the second thing that would happen is that you rob yourself of the unique intimacy that only another man can offer. So, yeah, we do need circles, we do need layers, we need different mirrors to see different parts of ourselves. Because a woman can love you, can support you, can understand you, but only a man can look you in the eye and say, I felt that too. But I know you can work it through. I'll be here. I'll cheer for you, man. That's the power of male intimacy. It's not competition, it's not banter, but deep mutual recognition. So, finally, let's talk about what we can do instead. Because this isn't a eulogy, it's a blueprint. So, you want real male friendship? You have to be the active one. You have to be the one that says, hey man, it's been a while. Let's go grab a beer. My treat. You have to be the one who say, you good? You want to talk? And start listening. You have to be the one who stays in the hard conversations instead of escaping into jokes, into sarcasm, into distractions. It requires a bit of leadership, the kind of emotional leadership that we as boys, we could back each other up. It's not dominance, it's not bravado. That means making space, asking real questions. Are you doing okay? Do you think you can handle it? And being okay with silence that isn't filled with jokes. So perhaps a coffee, a phone call, a walk without your phones in your hand, maybe a good 30 minutes sitting at the park bench, just talk to your friend, man. And maybe that one friend of yours is waiting for you to break the silence first. Yeah, you will feel awkward, but start showing up. Show up when he gets the job. Show up when he loses it. Show up when nothing's happening just to shoot the shit. Show up even when you don't know what to say. Maybe just a sound of a cracked can of beer, and you guys will stare into the night sky for a good 30 minutes or so. Start small, be steady, and be reachable. So, yeah, one last thing, if you are a father, a teacher, an older brother, listen closely. The next generations of boys is watching us. I think I can speak for most of the people here since, yeah, they're learning how to relate by watching how we relate. And if they only see sarcasm, distance, and banter, that's what they will repeat on the internet, on TikTok. But if they see hugs between men, if they hear the words, I love you, bro, spoken plainly, if they watch two men repair a friendship that once broke, you're giving them something most of us never got permission. Permission to be real, to be both soft and strong, to be known without being mocked. You want to change the culture? You can start with your own circle. Let them see it. That's how we stop the slow death, and that's how we begin the rebirth. So, if this episode landed with you, if this means anything, pick up your phone, send a message to one of the friends that you haven't spoken in years, plan to meet up. Not next week, today, or maybe tomorrow, because men need best friends. We always did, we always will. And maybe the only thing standing between you and that friendship is the courage to go first. So go first. You're not alone. You're not weak for wanting closeness. You're not too late to reconnect. And you're a man. So man up and do something. Thank you guys for listening. And I hope this is useful. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.